So, you know, all those YouTube gurus that sit in front of the little tree that they have it on their backyard, or go to a park and they claim to be in the middle of nature, and then you hear a plane or a scooter. Let me show you what it's like to be in the middle of nature. And let's do a 360. Right, Cooper? Say hello. Say good morning. Good morning. This is gonna go to another video, but we're filming this. But he's gonna be short-lived. Should I kidnap him? Anyway, too early to speak English, as always. Let's do a 360. Like, this is a forest. The forest. Like, this is the forest, you guys. 360. Okay? Let's take that as a reference point. Okay? Let's do this. We're in the beginning of a valley. A valley, actually. And that's it. ¿A que sí, Cooper? Say yeah. We're in the middle of absolutely nowhere, in a secret place. But yeah, we're gonna keep on going, but I really wanted to answer this, so. Hello, you guys. Isn't it crazy that right now the sun is kind of coming in here? I'm a little bit freezy. It's an older house, I already told you. And so the walls are made of stone. So it's cold, but if I want to be here, you know, having natural light and me, you know, being able to film for once in my life a natural light, yeah, I don't have space for the heater in here because I'm in front of the window, the balcony actually. Anywho, this is not why we're here today. You probably saw, you will see that earlier today I filmed, I was on a hike with Cooper, who is gonna be short-lived actually. He's such a good boy, and given the fact that he is mixed with a Labrador, well, I almost wanted to keep him, but you know, again, I think having a dog, owning a dog, it's a huge responsibility, and I want to have a stability like, okay, this is where I'm going to be for a long period of time, and then I can add a dog. So I try not to get very attached to them, but it's kind of difficult. Chilly in here, and this jumper and this lipstick, it's making me look like it's the dead of winter, but it's not, but here we are. Anyway, yeah, well, we're in March, whatever. So, this is a story, this is a story that, if you would be living with me, you would see notebooks all over the place and pens. And this is because when I have an idea, or the phone, but on the phone I tend to not look at it, so I just go ahead and write post-its or on a notebook. There's another notebook in there. Yeah, whenever an idea pops into my mind, and maybe it's not the right time. So last night, take this, last night it was 1 a.m. I woke up and I had this like epiphany kind of. And so lo and behold, I went down and with the lights off because I didn't want to get awakened, even though today I'm running on 4 hours sleep. Hey, concealer, hello. And I took the notes of what was in my mind, because otherwise I wouldn't, you know, I needed to write it down just to have it, you know, because it's something that I thought, this is the content, at least the content that I enjoy to watch the most. But yeah, earlier today, well, as you saw, I went on a hike with Cooper once again, and he is a great boy, and I tend to sing all the time. It's something that I do. What I do is I'm always, you know, where is that? It's there. The guitar is there. And today I was singing with, I was singing to, Cooper. Yeah, once again, with whatever floats your boat, you know, in COVID times. I'm doing this because I'm cold, not because I'm Mr. Burns. Mr. Burns, how you say that? Anyway, so I was singing to him, The Bare Necessities and Hakuna Matata, and I think it's like songs that really have a message that we really need nowadays, and it's good to be reminded of that. And you know, this thought, it's been ever since COVID started. If I got I don't know, if I got €1 for every time I sang the bare necessities, I could probably afford a trip down to Australia. Let's just put it this way. But then I decided to put on a playlist, and YouTube creates playlists from the songs that they think you're gonna enjoy. And this is quite of a tangent, but anyway. Lo and behold, the song from Texas, I Don't Want a Lover, popped up, and it lit me up. So much so that I've been listening, probably, I kid you not, like over 20 times in a row. I Don't Want a Lover. It's so empowering, you know, it's so... I forgot, like, I discovered that song through my sister. She's older than I am, and she had the CD collection, and of course I would go there, and when she wasn't home, because she wouldn't allow she wouldn't allow for me to touch any of her stuff, like pretty much like every other sibling in this world, right? So I'll go there and I would take a CD of hers and I would just go ahead and listen to it, you know, because I always have loved music. And she had this CD, I don't recall the name, but it was from Texas. And this song really, like, it, I don't know, other than now I understand the lyrics. And if I thought it was good when I was a child and I didn't understand a thing, now I think it's a brilliant song. But yeah, it made me, you know what that song made me? That song made me want to sit down and here and film this video, this idea that I had that probably I would have filmed another day, maybe in another completely different tone. Because, you know, I'm studying this dog stuff and I'm really enjoying it, you know, it's whatever. It's just song is like, what are you doing with your life? I enjoy it, you know? And yeah. And so I thought, well, wolves and dogs are related, but they are not the same species. They have not evolved. So when they talk about the leader of the pack, and that Cesar Millan thing and that kind of stuff, it really creeps me out because I'm so against all of that. But the pack leader, right? But I'm so against all of that. You don't have to be a pack leader. You have to be a teammate. You know, you're a team. You collaborate one another into species. But you know how they say, well, if you probably know that, or you don't need to be studying ethology or whatever. Dogs have the mind. Dogs have the mind of equivalent of a 5-year-old. And this is why they are always cheerful, eternal children, always living in the here and now and doing things. But us humans, we are if dogs are the children to wolves, let's do this comparison. If dogs were the children to wolves, us humans would be the children to the ape family. Because, yeah, it's you know, the behaviorists have studied that us humans are like the eternal children, even though we think we're so mature and whatnot, because take a gorilla, take some, we're apes, okay? So, yeah, it's not like we're not amoebas, we're apes. And take another ape and they are more, they grow up to be more mature because they have to survive and they have, yeah, they have to do what they have to do, fight, whatever. So this is what we don't do. And this is what it comes when they play with our collective mind, because we're like the children of apes. And of course, the ones who lead the world know that. They know how to convince. It's easy to persuade a child, you know, like if you do this, I'm gonna let you choose. And no, if you do the homework and you behave well all week long and whatever, by the end of the week, you're gonna have pizza. And that child, you best believe, is gonna do his or her best just to, by the end of the week, reach to that pizza that they have been promised. And this is what politicians and people who lead the world, big enterprises and whatnot, do to us. If you vote me, I will do this. If you do this, I will do that. If you purchase this, this is gonna give you some social status that we have created for you. And all this kind of stuff, right? So this is all like, because I think it's very basic, but once again, I am one who enjoys here and there, you know, watching videos from this people who call themselves gurus, but once again, don't hate me on that. But the reality is that this has been invented since the dawn of time. There's always been, in every tribe, there's been a shaman, how do you say that in English? Anyway, there's been a shaman that has been like the wise people, the wise person to the tribe who can give some guidance. Of course, that evolved, not in the, for instance, not in the Amazon forest, but in our world, in the world that you and I are watching, the one that we get to communicate to internet. And this evolved, like there were, of course, there were, I don't know, pharaohs, there were kings all over history, you know, people who lead the pack somehow. And yeah, then there were many beliefs, enters, religion. And I would dare to say, I mean, I've grown in a country that made the principle and almost the only religion that it exists. Now it's more, because we're more globalized, you know, they embrace other, how you say that? Other religions, I don't know, or other beliefs, but we've been raised with the morals, like it or not, because that's ingrained in our culture of Catholicism. And this is a branch, maybe the main one, take it as you will, from the church. But the church, what's the church? It's an enterprise. And what does it come from? They took the word from Jesus. Who was Jesus? Who was Jesus? He was a prophet. I think I don't buy into all of that. I'm really sorry if you really disagree. I truly respect your opinion, but I think he was a man way ahead of his time, and he had visions. He had this message to communicate with the world. And if you take the time, as I have done as of lately, well, lately, ever since COVID started, to go ahead and sit down and read the Bible as if it were, I don't know, not take a chapter, like take it from the beginning and keep on reading until the end, you will realize that what the Bible is, other than stories and yeah, there's morals, the church really tricked it to its own convenience. The teachings of the Bible are always teachings on how to love one another and how to be a better person and how to behave. So at the end of the day, religion is only a very old way of ethics. Another completely on the other side of the spectrum, kind of, there's the philosophers that I love a lot. I really do. And from the dawn of time, ever since the ancient Greece, and I'm sure pretty much before that, but the ones that I really enjoy the most are the ones from ancient Greece. They have always been having to try and figure out, why are we here? What's our mission in here? What can we do to be a better person? And try to explain the meaning of life somehow. And also the psyche and all the things that escape to our mind. But because I think it would be very foolish, be a believer or a non-believer, it would be very, very, very foolish that we are just pieces of flesh and bone who are created in a womb, then get born, and then they just start decaying up until the moment we die. There's something else out there. The miracle of life. How is life created? You know, all this kind of stuff that we don't think, because if we were just like, yeah, you get born and then you grow up and you die and you think that's all that there is to it, this is a very sad existence. So in saying all of that, what I try to say is that at least what I do is I take a little bit of here and there, and then I make up my own mind. There's people who, I don't know, you can follow whoever you want to, like you can follow Napoleon Hill if you want to, or Jesus Christ or Buddha, but they all have different teachings and they all have different theories, but the essence, if you take it, if you strip it all out, the essence is always the same. why are we here? Let's try to explain why, the reason of it all, you know, sit down and reflect a little bit. What is our mission? You know, we're not just automats that are born, reproduce, and die. You know, there's more to us than that. Otherwise, we would just be still living like, you know, in the middle of the bushes in Africa. And yeah, we wouldn't have evolved to building houses and building communication and all this kind of stuff. You know, we would just be there eating plants and whatnot. We wouldn't have even hunted, and we would reproduce and then die and accept, and that's it. But you know, that's just the story of evolution. I know this is a little bit deep, but whatever. It's my channel. So in saying all of that, because I think I did it kind of backwards, but in saying all of that, I realized like last night I had to write it down, you know, because this song of the bare necessities, it really hit me like, you know, it really rubs me in all the right places all the time. It always has. But the reality is, like, I've been this person, I've been in this place where I wanted more and more and more. Not that I've been a greedy person, that's not who I am and who I've been ever. But for instance, 2-3 years ago, I almost changed my car, you know, because it's a car that I purchased with my own money. It's my first car and it's still working to this day. But people were like, yeah, this car is really for, you know, people in his early 20s, and maybe you should get a car like more potent and a bigger car, an SUV and whatever, that probably I will get eventually if I get to have a family and I need space and room to grow and fit people. But for now, you know, the car that I have, it got to a point. It got to a point that my car, for instance, whenever I drove my car, it made me feel self-conscious because my car has... How old is my car? I think it's 14 or 15 years and it's going just fine. It's perfect. And then I was like self-conscious, like, oh, I should be driving, you know, I always loved the Honda CR-V, but it was like, I saw people my age, you know, driving an Audi, Mercedes, an Infiniti, and then there I am with my Peugeot. And I was like, oh my God, but I should really, you know, upgrade. But then I was like, why? Because society says so, and this comes to many things in life. Almost the majority of them is like, we do things because society tells us to do. And I came to, last night I was like, but really, you know, something was missing because it's always like, well, we just need food, water, air, and yeah, oxygen actually, and sleep. And that's all the bare necessities. But I was like, that's not quite what I think, you know. And last night I woke up and I'm freezing, you guys. And last night I woke up, now children are, yeah, going to music school. So last night I woke up and I really had to write that down. And if I had to say the bare necessities that we have, I would add one, so there would not be just, so there would not be just 4, but rather 5, and it would be food, water, oxygen, sleep, probably 6, maybe shelter, and most importantly, love. Like, you can just survive with sleep, food, water, oxygen, and love. So that makes 5. Like, even without a shelter, you can build a shack, you know, if you didn't even have that. So yeah, and that was really like, as I was telling you, I was this person that I, for the past up until COVID started, for the past 3 years, I was driving my car, as I always have, and I was feeling self-conscious because I thought, it's an older car, and I don't know how this is portraying who I am and whatever. And, you know, it was like, so, can you see? It's really cold in here. It's colder than in the streets. Anyway, and I thought to myself, but that's not what you seek for when you seek for a newer car. Because ultimately what I was seeking for is like the approval that I think people would give to me if I upgraded to a car that would be fit and appropriate for a person my age. So it was like, so ultimately, I don't want to get that car because I need that car, you know, that would be a necessity and that's well justified. I want to have that car because I want to be acknowledged that, you know, whatever, you're doing well in life anyway. And so I thought, okay, what is it, you know, being acknowledged? Love moves the world. And you're going to think, that's so cheesy, that's so... No, it's not. Look at the song of the Beatles. They were saying it already, and it's been the most talked thing. You know, Jesus, come once again, love one another. And the Beatles, all you need is love. What do the singers sing about? Love. Why? Well, let me tell you why. Love moves the world. It's not just romantic love. It's romantic love, but it's family love, friendship love. Hate is the opposite of love, also makes part of love in a way. So what moves us all from the moment when we wake up till the moment we go to sleep, basically is love. So yeah, you work to get better things to provide for your family because you love them. You know, when you reach someone and you spend quality time with that person, that is a way of showing love. Even if with COVID times, you know, receiving an impromptu, completely unexpected video call on your phone from a friend or someone you know, that is a way of showing love and care. And the reality of it is that you truly, like, I think the same way that we really need the food and the water and the oxygen to live and sleep, of course, otherwise we would die. We need the love because love is what regulates our emotions, all that we have here inside, you know, or here, whatever, all over, but all that we have within us. So if there were no love, so you strip a person or any sentient being for that matter of love, you probably have seen that experiment with plants that they were talking to two equally the same plants, you know, they were like twins, and one they were telling to the plant mean words and all this kind of stuff. And then there was the other plant that they were talking nicely to it, and one she kind of decayed and the other one flourished. So this is the vibration. Even it's been studied even in water, with the water, the way the water arranges under a microscope. If you have bad thoughts or you're screaming, or if you're feeling love and you're, I don't know, singing and being happy, if you put those different waters under a microscope, they react differently. One creates beautiful crystals, much like snowflakes, and the other one is like all over the place and not looking good at all. So now try, and of course you're not gonna, but it's like, now go ahead and try to argue me that what doesn't move the world is love. Love moves us all. Plants, birds, water, mammals, insects, you know, the bees work in a beehive just to protect the queen bee. And why do they do that? That is a form of love. So ultimately, the reason why, this is going to be a long video, it's already 40 minutes, I'm sorry, but I think it's interesting. Ultimately, the thing that has affected most people during this pandemic, and you know, they have seen, well, the cases of anxiety and depression have really risen and all this stuff. And you think, well, why is that? Probably it's not because, you know, just the COVID doesn't create a depression, but the social media, all the news and the media actually created fear, and fear is the opposite of love. So it really dims your light. And on top of that, so many people, me included, we've been deprived of many ways of love that we were receiving, and you don't even realize that you have it up until it's missing, you know? It's something that moves you every day. It's something that makes you, you know, smile, sing, wake up, have a laugh, share good times. I don't know, bake a cake. Yeah, love is absolutely all you need other than, yeah, water, food, sleep, and oxygen. You need love. You take someone and you isolate that person, and you don't show love to that person, and nobody shows care for that person. Now we're completely losing the light. And you best believe that person is going to start to dim down. Does that mean that that person has a clinical depression? No, that means that that person is really lacking a nutrient to the soul, the main nutrient to the soul. And thus is being malnourished, and so thus is not functioning properly. I don't know if I'm getting to a point. I don't want to explain myself for hours and hours, because I could be here for an entire day talking about this, because I find it's this interesting, you know, and kind of exciting. Overall, the thing that moves us all, that makes us, you know, wake up every single morning and take care of ourselves and all that stuff, it's love. Always shapes and forms of love. Even hate, but mainly love. I choose to stay in the positive side. It's a conscious choice that it's a conscious choice that I make. You know, you can choose to be angry, you can choose to be envious, you can choose to be mad at someone, or you can choose to accept, you know, because it doesn't depend on you. Like, as I said, I don't care what you think about me, because I don't think about you at all. You know, that's not to say I don't think about you at all of people. I just don't pay attention to people who bring negativity into my life, because I want to vibrate, you know, in the frequency of love. And that's the frequency that I'm clinging to. And I think it's this 2020, it's been, this 2020 and 2021, it's been wild on all of us. But if someone has taken the time to sit down and think about it all, you know, and get something out of this, I think I've gotten plenty of things out of this. Before COVID, I would seek for approval on others, and nowadays the only person that I seek approval of is me. And yes, you know me, I need to share myself with some other people, and I would love to have love in all the ways that there exist. But for the time being, what I do to counteract the lack of love in other areas of my life because of the current situation, let's face it, it's counteracted with more love of the one that can be provided to me. What love can I provide? I love myself when I take care of myself. I love myself when I go on hikes and take care of my body. Once again, I love myself when, instead of just applying the moisturizer, I take some time to make myself look how I want to look. I love myself when I do my hair. You know, I love myself when I go visit the dogs. Again, it's repetitive, but I love myself, you know, when I just take the guitar and entertain my brain with songs that I really do enjoy or want to express my emotions. I love myself when I sing. I love myself when by the end of the day, I just prepare sleepy time tea and watch something lighthearted. That's other forms of love. And ultimately, I think it's love is what moves us all. And yeah, people is like, no, we need this and this and this. If you really don't get to be content with who you are and yeah, accept yourself for what you are, who you are, you're always going to be vibrating in the frequency of lacking, and that's going to be draining. So I think if you can get something out of this video, is always vibrate for your own well-being. Can I speak in English? Always vibrate in the frequency of love. Yes, of course, I'm not a perfect person. I'm gonna get upset at times and whatnot. But what do I do in those times? I accept it. I let it flow. I let it go through me. I let it flow, and then I shake it off. And then I try to do my best consciously to focus on the positive outcome and the positive things in life. And this is a way of not allowing the outside world get into your brain and rearrange the furniture how they will. It's your brain, it's your place, it's your house, and you have to have it how you will, and have it the way that you want to. and have it however you want to can only be done through love, because I don't think anyone is that destructive that consciously they would treat themselves badly. So there's that. That's my big ramble for today. If you have made it here, I really want to thank you for taking the time and patience for watching all of that, and let me know down below what you think about all of that. I'm interested into, you know, hearing other opinions and intakes in all aspects of life. So I hope you're having a good day in the meantime, and see you soon. Bye.